Good afternoon or good morning, wherever you're at. This is Glenn Setchfield, VP of Marketing for DMI. I appreciate you being here. If you're serious about financial planning and specifically retirement income planning, we're here for you. DMI and CSS together. We know helping clients is your number one priority and giving them stronger, better built retirements for about 50% less capital on average is going to set you apart from the competition. So DMI and CSSCS, which is the Corporation for Social Security Claiming Strategies, were exclusively coordinated to help you understand how to improve retirement income and Social Security rules. So how do we do that? Number one, quarterly, we have mastermind sessions to continue your education. So if you have not been certified with CSSCS, it's you want to get certified so you can continue that education and stand out in your community. There's also through DMI possible reimbursements for education. So we have a certification coming up in April. So if you want to get certified, make sure you're checking in with our emails. We'll be letting you know about that. I can't remember the exact date in April, but you'll be notified. This is a great way to not only create new leads, but it's also a way to develop relationships with your current clientele that you have and expose things that you didn't recognize were there in the portfolios previously. So great program, and this is really something very unique that is only available through DMI and CSSCS to have this in-depth level of engagement that we have with our graduates. We really are excited about today's presentation. So we've got Andy Robertson here, the founder of CSSCS. Andy, as always, man, we really appreciate you being here. And then, of course, Tyrell Jensen, our very own annuity specialist, annuity VP with DMI. He's got a number of agents in the CSSCS program, and I know he's a great advocate of what we're doing. So I really appreciate everybody being here. And Maureen Walker, our content strategist, develops a lot of the pieces, the unique pieces that we do around this topic in this program. So we've got a good team here, and I know we've got a great audience here too. So Tyrell, I'll just hand it off to you and see if you've got any comments or thoughts before we hand things off to Andy today.
Yeah, appreciate that, Glenn. First, I actually have also gone through the CSSCS program. I do have clients on the side that I see as well. I found it to be helpful for me in just expanding my knowledge around Social Security and the different claiming strategies, how to help clients. And then I have probably a dozen plus of my own reps who have gone through the program, and I have some of them that I communicate regularly about it, who also attend some of our other CSSCS classes that we have that are kind of ongoing classes. So a lot of them, have expressed after getting it, they love one, having the designation, the knowledge and help that provides to them to be able to answer clients' questions and be able to provide better planning for their clients. And then on top of that, there's opportunities for them as they help clients with the Social Security. It's been a way that they've been able to get referrals from those clients that they've helped, because it's a topic and something that oftentimes is missed or not talked about. So I have a few reps who use it also as a referral program. After they've helped that client with Social Security, they're able to get a referral to friends who also could use some help. It's a great way to say, hey, as their friends are talking, whatever, I want on Social Security, things come up. It's like, hey, I've got a guy who can help you with that and help plan and so it's been a benefit to my reps that way as well.
That's awesome. Appreciate it, Tyrell. Thanks for being here. Hey, by the way, I just want you guys to know the barcode up in Tyrell's corner of the Hollywood Squares here thing is a QR code. You can just take a photo of it and it'll give you his contact information. So if you want to ask any question about this to Tyrell, he can follow up with you. But and then as you have questions, just use the Q&A function or the chat function, and we can either stop the presentation for that or get the Q&A at the end. But Andy, we'll hand it off to you from there.
All right, Glenn, thanks. Appreciate it. And I'm excited to, as always, talk to anybody affiliated with DMI. Appreciate the opportunity from you, Glenn, and Maureen, of course, and Tyrell. It's always great working with you guys. You guys are great partners and do great work for the people that you partner with. Before I get started and go through the case study, just a couple of things to share with you as it relates to Social Security. So this June will mark 34 years that I've been in the financial services industry in one capacity or another, whether it be a retailer, a wholesaler, a sales leader, a software developer, a financial planning innovator, whatever you want to call me. I've worked in a number of different capacities, but there's never been a more exciting time, in my estimation, to be in the financial services space, and specifically to work in the retirement income planning arena. So a lot of people in this business, from my experience, are really generalists. So when we talk to them about the work they do and how they go about doing it, they're kind of a lot of things to a lot of people. And what we're really focused on is working with financial advisors who understand the value of becoming a specialist in their community, and specifically a retirement income specialist. Now, like most industries, the more specialized you are in the financial services space, the more revenue you generate, the more income you enjoy. We find that not just in the medical field or the accounting field or in the legal field, but also we see the same trends in the financial planning field as well. Those who position themselves as specialists make on average 3 or 4 times what their generalist counterparts make. So as you're thinking about what the future holds for you, obviously there's always things at work here in this space, whether it's the Department of Labor, fiduciary standard, AI, compression on fees, whatever it might be. Things are always evolving, and you have to obviously evolve as well. But the way to really solidify yourself, in our estimation, in this space, to really maximize the value that you provide as a human being in the planning process, is really to embrace what some people call the complexity of Social Security. So what we've tried to do here at the Corporation for Social Security Claiming Strategies is put on display for every advisor we work with how you can position Social Security as the catalyst for building better, more fortified retirement income plans for significantly less capital, on average 50% less capital. And we focus on that because we know the number one concern people have, no matter who you talk to, the number one concern they have going into retirement is the fear of waking up penniless. So from our perspective, it's very simple. If that's your number one concern, then doesn't it make sense to figure out right up front before you make any decisions which Social Security filing strategy, if any, is going to have a material impact on that outcome. So if we could prove to you quantitatively through the tools and the training that we offer that Social Security can be the difference between living a safe and comfortable retirement and living on the edge, wouldn't it make sense to speak to one of our specialists? And of course, everybody agrees with that sentiment. It makes absolutely no sense at all to go about building a retirement income plan without understanding and backtesting what the outcome might look like, giving all the various opportunities that you have within the financial planning and retirement income planning space. Now, Social Security as a concept has been, it's kind of overdone for a little while. Many shops were talking about Social Security. They had what we commonly refer to as Social Security marketing programs in the IMO space. A lot of the carriers were also getting involved, and they were building Social Security programs. But the reality is all of those were really focused on the concept of Social Security maximization. Essentially what that meant was you looked at Social Security in a vacuum. The calculators that were built to kind of support those initiatives looked at Social Security in a vacuum and essentially said, tell me how old you are now, tell me when you're going to die, and I can tell you when and how you should file for Social Security benefits. So if in fact you live until that age, you extract the most amount of cash flow from Social Security during that time. And while we certainly understand the interest in capturing that information, we felt it really failed to recognize the broader impact Social Security could have on the single biggest issue people are concerned about, which is the threat of running out of money, but more importantly, the impact it could have on building a better, more fortified plan for all involved. So the areas in where Social Security really can impact the plan are, first and foremost, as we'll talk about today, minimizing the amount of capital it requires to build a successful plan. Number 2, deliver the income on a highly tax-efficient basis. Number 3, free up capital for you to fortify that plan against the risk of long-term care, against the risk of longevity, against the risk of market volatility, so on. And lastly, really protect the survivor. At the end of the day, the vast majority of the people that we want to talk to, the people that we want to make our clients, they're probably going to be fine when both spouses are alive. The real issues surface when one spouse is no longer with us. And unfortunately, more often than not, it's far too late to be able to save that retirement income plan once one spouse has passed away. So we focus on, from an optimization perspective, how can Social Security impact all of those factors within the plan, and how can we put it on display so that the advisor can make it very easy for the client to see why taking benefits at a different time than maybe they were thinking about is going to be so impactful to them and ultimately their retirement experience. So the last thing I'll say before I jump into the piece that I want to share is Social Security at the end of the day will address the number one concern every financial advisor has. I've talked about here for a couple of moments the number one concern retirees have, but the number one concern every financial advisor has, and it's been this way since the beginning of time, is whether or not they have the opportunity to get in front of enough qualified prospects each and every day. I can promise you that nothing will provide you with more qualified activity than a Social Security marketing system. So through your partnership with DMI, and Glenn and the folks can talk more about it, there's an incredible marketing system that goes along with everything we're going to talk about today. But the magic of Social Security is that Social Security is the one topic that's always timely. So when it comes to marketing, the challenge for anybody in marketing, and certainly Glenn and Maureen can attest, is whether or not what we want to focus on as a marketing organization today is something that's going to register and ring true with the people that you're going to market and try and get into your office. And it's a crapshoot, frankly. There's a lot of different ways to approach it, but there is nothing, and there hasn't been anything that's more effective at filling your calendar with qualified prospects than offering people the ability to get some qualified advice on the value of Social Security and retirement. And that's really the differentiator for us. So we've got a turnkey. It's not a marketing program. It's a marketing system where we leave nothing to the imagination that'll put you in a position where what I'm about to talk to you about next is something that you could talk about every day. And Glenn can share with you some videos of the folks that I've worked with over the years and the impact becoming a retirement income specialist has had on their business. The one that comes to mind, Glenn, that I'd ask you to share with the group when the time comes is Mike Hayflick. Mike Hayflick, when I met Mike Hayflick in 2014, 2015, he was a fifth grade school teacher looking to make a career change in his mid-40s. Pretty scary, but he was smart enough that he knew if he was going to succeed against all those others who were also in the same weight class as him from an age perspective, he knew if he was going to jump into a different field at this point in his life at that age, he had to be unique, he had to be different. And we met him because of a Google search. He Googled Social Security training. He met us today. It's been about 10 years since we first engaged Mike. We're closing in, I guess, on 9 years. Today, Mike has a practice where he has over 350 million in a, and then obviously he's leveraging the value of lifetime income as part of that process, and he does several million a year in annuity premium as well. But Mike is a living example of what being a retirement income specialist can be and what it can mean to you and your practice and your clients. And I don't know that anybody could make a more successful transition from being a fifth grade school teacher to a financial advisor that Mike has, and all he focuses on is retirement income planning and what we call Social Security optimization. So in many ways, because he didn't come, with any preconceived notions and any prejudices, he just came in and said, I'm all ears, teach me. I don't have time to learn the hard way. Teach me how to do it. He embraced everything that we shared with him. And today he's the poster child for what it can be and what your future can look like when you're a retirement income specialist. So, Glenn, I think you might have to make me the host so I can just share the case study, and then we'll be good to go. Thank you. All right. So hopefully everybody can see my screen. We're talking about, again, the 21st century retirement income planning. And just to be clear, and I don't mean to steal any of Glenn or Maureen's thunder, but what we're really saying is if you look at the retirement income world and you look at financial planning on the whole, think about this. Asset allocation, more commonly referred to as modern portfolio theory, was introduced in 1952 by an economist named Harry Markowitz. So the first time we ever saw that concept, modern portfolio theory, more commonly known as asset allocation, was in 1952. And what I would suggest, and I think you'll agree, is that in 1952, retirement income planning wasn't even a thing. The average person in 1952 had two components to their retirement. They had Social Security and a defined benefit, aka traditional pension plan. That was it. So Growth investing in the markets was reserved for only the wealthiest people who had disposable income that they could afford to put at risk in the markets. And of course, Harry Markowitz comes along and introduces an incredibly brilliant concept on how effectively you can invest in the capital markets, and but through diversification minimize the downside while still participating at a reasonable rate on the upside. Well, here we are 70 plus years later. We have the first generation retiring en masse, widely responsible for funding the bulk of their retirement. And what is the underlying financial planning principle we're using to deliver income? By and large, asset allocation. So the reason we talk about 21st century retirement income planning is we're looking at income planning completely differently than the traditionalists. We're not embracing asset allocation as the way to deliver income. We know asset allocation from every academic study out there leads to the vast majority of Americans being considered underfunded. So the question was, what could we do differently? What could we bring to the table from a planning perspective that would completely change that paradigm? You've seen all the statistics that say the vast majority of Americans are underfunded, right? You know, we're considered crummy savers in the grand scheme of things around the world because most of us allegedly haven't saved enough money to replace the income that would have been provided by defined benefit plans had those not been replaced by what we now know as defined contribution plans. Well, it's really kind of incredible what the opportunity is when you start thinking about how can I bring a different approach to the retirement income planning process? How can I leverage all the tools in the retirement income planning toolbox to deliver a significantly better result? And what if the way I went about doing that completely changed that paradigm in such a way that Americans aren't crummy savers? And in fact, whether or not they saved enough money has far less to do with them and far more to do with who they work with. Could we make a case quantitatively that it's not the consumer and the saver that has the problem? It's the advisor who hasn't evolved and isn't ready to deliver the type of plan needed to work within the budget that you've been able to accumulate. So that's our goal. That's who we're trying to help you become. We're looking for advisors who want to be a part of this program and work with us to take advantage of the 21st century retirement income planning platform that we're building. And you're going to see as I go through this case study why, you know, we think we've got something here that's very unique and different. All right, so I'm going to try and go through this fairly quickly. We've got a couple in this case study. We've got a married couple looking to retire. They're traditional asset allocation type investors that in retirement, they're thinking about 60% of their money being in equities, 40% in fixed income. Their goal, of course, is to build a retirement income plan that's going to outlast them so that they don't wake up someday penniless in retirement, whether that's when they're together or alone. And it's inevitable that one of them is going to be alone at some time. The goal is obviously not only to build an income plan that works, but an income plan that fits within their budget and delivers the income need that they have with a reasonable and an acceptable probability of success. So I'm going to draw your attention down to these assumptions in the bottom right-hand corner. We're going to assume they're both currently 66. They intend to retire at their FRA, which 66 and 6 months is what we'll use for this example. Their primary insurance amounts are $3,200 for him and $2,800 for her. So this is their retirement income benefit at full retirement age, otherwise known as their primary insurance amount. They're looking for $127,640 in projected income by the time they're 70. So we start out with a smaller number, but through the inflation impact, we're looking at $127,647 is our target for age 70. We're going to assume that Social Security is going to deliver about $102,000 of that between the two, and I'll show you how we arrive at that number, that they'll have an additional $25,697 of income need they'll have to fill with their assets to get to that 127 after Social Security. So Social Security will deliver 101,950 of the 127,647. The balance, 25,697, we're going to assume is coming out of the assets that they've been able to accumulate through their employer-sponsored plans. And we're going to assume they've accumulated together, $925,000 or 36 times the annual income gap, the 25,697 that they'll need to fill. By the way, just a note, So this 36 times the annual income gap really came about as a result of a piece written by Morningstar. Morningstar made the case in that piece, and my guess is that Maureen will probably be sharing this with you when we're through. But Morningstar made the case in this piece that if you have in retirement savings 36 times, and they obviously came up with this through some quantitative analysis, but if you have 36 times in retirement savings what you need, the assets to deliver to complete your plan, there's no need to embrace something like a lifetime income benefit via a deferred annuity. So that's part of really what we're going to address here, because we're going to show you that while that sounds good in theory, we're not quite clear on how they ended up at that number. And in fact, the only way you have any chance at meeting these income goals at a budget of $925,092 is actually to leverage a lifetime income benefit, not ignore the value that annuities bring. Lastly, we're going to build this plan and we're going to back test it with the assumption that we need it to last 30 years. So I'm going to just slide down here. We'll get into some more of the detail. So we're going to look at really three scenarios. We're going to look at what I call a traditional plan, which means we're going to use an asset allocation approach to deliver any income needed above and beyond Social Security. And we're going to look at what if they took benefits early and used an asset allocation approach? What if they took benefits later and again used an asset allocation approach to deliver any additional income need to get them to their income goal? And then lastly, we're going to look at a 21st century optimized plan where not only do we deliver the income that they're looking for, but through the sources of income that we're going to leverage, that income is 100% guaranteed. We're going to look at those three things side by side and understand the implications that Social Security, along with the leveraged income you can get only from an annuity together, can have on the outcome of this plan. So again, in every instance, we're going to look at closing the income gap. The only question is, how are we going to about closing that income? So one of the earlies, we're going to assume they use an asset allocation model with a 60-40 equity to fixed income mix. Under the laters, or we'll call delayed traditional approach, again, 60-40, but we're going to wait to take benefits until 70 in that case. So in the early scenario, we're going to say they take benefits at FRA and they close any remaining gap using an asset allocation approach. Under the laters, we're going to say they're using this traditional approach of a 60-40 asset allocation to close any remaining gap, but we're going to assume they wait to take Social Security benefits at 70 rather than take them at FRA. And then lastly, in the optimized strategy, we're going to say, what if they wait till 70 to take Social Security benefits? So in every instance, they're retiring at 66. The only question we're contemplating here is, what if they wait to take benefits until 70? So in every instance, they're going to retire at 66. But in the final example, we're going to look, or case study, we're going to look at the optimized plan where we say, instead of using an asset allocation approach to close any remaining income gap that remains once they take benefits at 70, what if instead we utilized the value of an annuity? Okay, now down here in this next section, we can see kind of the critical elements of the plan. So I'm going to make this just a little bit bigger for everybody so you can see this. So if we compare these three plans side by side and we focus on what we kind of know to be the main areas of concern for the client, if they were to take benefits early, full retirement age, and utilize an asset allocation approach to deliver the balance of the income, the only portion of the income that we could claim is guaranteed is the portion attributable to Social Security. So in that case, there's 63% of the income would be guaranteed. Now, 63% of the income is guaranteed. 66% of the total income would be taxable. This is at age 70. I want to be clear. So we're saying if you took benefits at 66, by the time you're 70, how much of the income would be guaranteed? How much would be considered taxable? So this is something that if you go through our course, you get a deep dive into the tax piece on. But the reality is, the more heavily weighted a retirement income plan is in Social Security, the more tax efficient it becomes. And that's because of the favorable tax treatment that Social Security is afforded under provisional income. Most people are not aware. A lot of financial advisors aren't aware. Certainly, the vast majority of consumers have no idea of the tax efficiencies you can be afforded under Social Security. You learn that in our class and through the tools that we have. The guaranteed survivor benefit under the earliest plan is $38,400. The annual Social Security benefit would be $68,400. This is beginning when they first start. Oh, this is at 70. And the annual income gap at 70 is $39,600. The capital they would have available is $1 million. So in every instance, we're going to have $1 million to work with to close that annual income gap, whatever it may be. It's 39.6 for the earlies. What about the laters? If they delay, so they still retire at FRA, but they don't take benefits until 70, well, 81% of the income is going to be guaranteed because thanks to delayed retirement credits, 81% of the overall income is now going to come from Social Security. Less of the income is considered taxable because more of the income that's in the plan is coming from the tax-favored Social Security. The guaranteed survivor benefit is greater because we've got the delayed retirement credits accumulating on top of the 38.4, which brings that guaranteed survivor benefit, which is coming from Social Security, up to 49,148. The annual Social Security benefit together would be 87,545. As I mentioned, the plan is going to be more heavily weighted in Social Security. So as a result, we need less fully taxable income from the IRA when Social Security kicks in. And these two things together lead to a more tax efficient retirement income plan. And again, we're going to explore, is $1 million enough to make this plan work? What is it about this plan we'll need to make sure the $1 million covers? It needs to provide what we call bridge capital to carry them from full retirement age until 70 while they wait for the benefits to begin. And then enough capital must remain to close with some reasonable probability of success the remaining gap once Social Security begins 22,301. And then finally, in the 21st century optimized plan, the reason we call it optimized is very simple. The two sources of income are both guaranteed, Social Security and a lifetime income benefit rider. The tax efficiency that we saw under the latest plan remains because we're going to use the same Social Security filing strategy. And as you'll see right here, the percentage of income attributable to the tax-free Social Security is the same. The survivor benefit is considerably greater. This is really critical because, again, the vast majority of people that we want to talk to are going to be in great shape early on while they're together. The real issues begin when they're alone. The survivor benefit, the minimum survivor benefit, assuming no COLAs, is going to be 71,449. So that's a combination of the 49,148 you get from Social Security if you're waited till 70, plus the 22,301 that we're going to use the annuity to deliver and close the gap, right? So over here, the 22,301, using an asset allocation approach, I cannot say with any confidence, and I certainly can't say from a compliance perspective, that this is guaranteed to continue for the surviving spouse. So I can't count it in the survivor benefit, but under the optimized strategy, I can. I can make the case that the remaining Social Security benefit, 49,148, plus the 22,301 together, deliver a survivor income minimum of 71,449. And again, we're going to look at, is $1 million enough to deliver this plan? So we're going to scroll down here now, look just from a capital perspective. So if we would move forward with the earliest plan, that's to take benefits at FRA and fund that remaining $39,000 gap using an asset allocation approach, good credible science says we need $1.65 million to do that with any what I call reasonable probability of success. So to be clear, the way we quantify this number is we simply take the income gap and we divide it by what we consider to be the initial safe withdrawal rate that would be sustainable within the plan's objectives. The plan's objectives, just to reiterate, are we want the income to last 30 years. We want it to have a 95% probability of success. And we're going to use a 60-40 equity to fixed income allocation. Based upon those three independent variables, we can arrive at the initial safe withdrawal rate, use that initial safe withdrawal rate to back into how much capital do we need to meet the plan's objectives 30 years at a 95% probability of success. The answer is $1.65 million. Well, guess what? This couple has $1 million. So like most households in America, the academics would consider them underfunded. In this case, arguably woefully underfunded, is they're shy $650,000 of where they need to be. Now, historically, what people would do is move forward with this plan and roll the dice because the other options aren't all that attractive. The other option would be to delay retirement, save more money, expect less in retirement, lower your expectations in retirement, work part-time. None of the options that can help what I call the traditional options that people have considered to kind of take some of this burden away are very attractive. So what we explore through our process and our platform is, well, what if we took the benefits later? What if we took benefits at 70, in this case, rather than FRA? So we're still going to retire at FRA. We're just not going to take benefits till 70. Well, using that exact same credible process, we can back into, once again, how much capital is required. So waiting to take benefits till 70 will absolutely reduce the capital requirement by roughly $430,000 and take them from underfunded by $650,000 to underfunded by $222,000, but it doesn't get them where they want to go. More attractive, maybe less risky, or if you want to call it that, maybe they're less concerned, although they should always be concerned if they're underfunded, but better than this, but not where they want to be. So the question is, what could we do differently? How could we take this strategy, which clearly waiting has had a positive impact? How could we take this strategy and make it better? Well, again, instead of using an asset allocation approach to deliver the additional income, we could use a lifetime income benefit rider. In this case, we worked with Athene and said, what do we need to invest today to deliver that additional income beginning at the client's age 70? So remember, this couple is 60. I think we said they were both 65, and the income gap would be 22,301. How much would we have to invest today? I believe it was the Athene Ascent Pro 10 to guarantee 5 years from now that we could deliver that additional $22,000 of income, and the premium required, coupled with the bridge capital, requires them to commit $716,000 of total income. So the bridge capital, which is called out earlier, is just over $300,000, $300,000 right here, $390,000. So we're going to have to commit $700,000. So we're going to commit about $326,000 to the annuity. The balance of the $716,000 is going to address the bridge capital, which will carry them from FR 870 while we wait for the Social Security benefits to kick in. And we're going to go from underfunded by $650,000 to overfunded by $284,000. So just to be clear, they went from underfunded, they needed 65% more capital than they had, overfunded by $283,000, and we used the same income goal, the same time horizon, the same inflation assumption, the same income gap. Everything is exactly the same primary insurance amounts. Everything is exactly the same between the earlies and the optimized. The only difference is when and how they took Social Security benefits and whether they used an asset allocation approach or what we call an asset optimization approach to deliver the additional income and close the remaining income gap. Now, not only are we delivering a better, more fortified plan, as we saw with stronger survivor benefits, more tax efficiency, coming in on budget and leaving excess capital, but the surviving spouse, who again ultimately is the one who's going to answer for any poor planning, is not only going to have considerably more in a guaranteed survivor benefit, as we can see here, but they're also going to be able to fall back on any future value that remains of this, what we call excess capital. Now, obviously, if I have $283,000, I can say today unequivocally, I do not need for income because I fully provided for the funding of the income plan today using Social Security and the annuity. I can invest this a little differently than I would have if I were going to have to use it as part of the overall income strategy. And the future value of this is just 5%. $283,000 becomes $462 in 10 years, $753 in 20 years, and $1.2 million in 30 years. Now, some people will say, yeah, but they have to take RMDs out of that. I agree. You're going to have to take RMDs out of that, but here's the difference. RMDs over here, you're going to have to consume just to make your bills. Over here, you're forced to take the income because the IRS is forcing you to get all that tax infestation out of that money. But there's nothing requiring that you spend it. Your income need is fully provided for. You can take the net of this, reinvest it somewhere else, so you can obviously do some additional planning at the point you make contact with this client and get it out of a fully tax-infested state before you're ever required to actually start with a mandatory distribution. But there's a lot of options here that put the survivor in a significantly better stead. It's also going to put the advisor in a better position long-term, right? Because while your clients are taking income, you have a portion of these assets that you can invest for growth. So while everybody else's assets are evaporating because the plans weren't built to last, the plan that you've built is actually growing in the face of income, and your practice becomes more valuable over time. Now, one last thing to think about here, when you think about the difference between an asset allocation approach and an asset optimization approach, the reality is the amount of capital required for the earlies or the laters is pure speculation. In fact, I won't know exactly how much capital it's going to take to deliver the plan that they want until the death of the second spouse. Conversely, under the optimized plan, I know exactly how much I have to commit today to make this plan a success. And as a result, I know exactly how much I have left to do better, what I believe to be more important planning work with for that couple and their family. Asset optimization and 21st century planning is a game changer for your client, a game changer for your practice, a game changer for your firm, and a true differentiator for you in the work that you do. When you're out there trying to generate activity and get people to see you differently, Social Security optimization and the concept of 21st century planning sets you apart, because all of the work that you do is quantitative. There isn't anything that we utilize that isn't quantitative, which means nothing is left to the imagination. What people are seeing is based purely on math, not on speculation. And it makes it very easy to get people to recognize that what we're doing is a much better approach than what people have historically done. And you don't have to roll the dice. Now, I'll hear from people, well, and I'm sure you all hear the same thing, I don't like annuities. I don't believe in annuities. And I explain to them, well, that's by design, because the people who are controlling the messaging are the ones who are trying to convince you that you should move forward with the plan that requires you to commit $1.65 million to do the same job we do for $700,000. So yeah, I wouldn't like annuities either if I knew there was an alternative solution out there, right? Annuity that could deliver the same result I'm looking for and do it for $900,000 less capital. And the ultimate outcome of the conversation, again, is very simple. And it's really the question. Is your issue from a retirement planning perspective, Mrs. Klein, is your issue really that you're a crummy saver like the media has led you to believe? Or is the real issue that you're working with the wrong person who hasn't evolved, who in 2024 is trying to apply a financial planning concept that was introduced 72 years ago when financial or retirement income planning wasn't even a thing? I mean, there's a very large gap between financial planning, which is designed to get you to retirement, and retirement income planning, which is designed to take you through retirement. And that's why you need a specialist. The perfect and most obvious, comparison to this is your physical health, right? Everybody understands the older you get, the more important it is to embrace the value of a specialist when it comes to your mortality and your physical health. But yet, when it comes to your fiscal health, right, your financial well-being, everybody continues to seek the advice of generalists rather than leveraging the power of a specialist. Become that specialist in your community and reap the rewards. And your partners here at DMI are fully committed to helping you make that happen. Just to kind of close this out, what's the value of working with a 21st century retirement advisor in this example? You built the plan for 41 to 57% less capital on average, 31 to 46% more for survivors. And the probability of success is 100% because all the income is fully guaranteed from the two sources in this example that we're leveraging, Social Security and the annuity. So with that, I'll kick it back to you, Glenn, and the team for next steps. Hopefully that resonates with everybody. And I really look forward to, getting to know everybody on the call who thinks this is a good fit for them, and working with them to get the 21st century program going.
Yeah, hey, I appreciate it, Andy. Thanks so much. I'm going to jump in here for a second because on the survey, it was indicated that the audience's greatest business concern is finding leads, right? So I just want to show y'all something really quick. And Andy, you alluded to it earlier, but this is our My Back Office. This is what agents get when they come on to, or agents or advisors, when they come on to DMI, they're given access to this custom portal. One of the things that comes with it is a Social Security complete campaign. If I click download this campaign, you're going to see probably close to 100 assets built inside of this PDF. And this is a 5-week campaign that you can self-deliver or self-execute. So basically, it tells you from week to week what you need to do. We've got copy and paste emails, infographics, invitations, and then also culminating in a week 5 webinar presentation that you can deliver. That's a scripted PowerPoint presentation there. And then after that, we also have follow-up recommendations. So when we say turnkey, we're putting our money where our mouth is. And, we actually deliver on these sorts of deliverables, if I could say that. But so, and there's much more that we deliver. Andy also makes himself available to help those that are in the program with their early sales. and visualizations and that kind of thing. So it's a really complete, very robust program. But I just wanted to share that with everybody. I think Maureen is going to share the sales idea that Andy was sharing today. But if you do want to get involved in the program and become a CSSCS certified advisor, if you deliver a webinar like I just showed you, I mean, it's a real great opportunity to generate more clients. And so I guess with that, I didn't want to interrupt the flow of things, but I thought it was important to show that. Tyrell, did you have any final thoughts at all?
I'd just say if you guys are interested in learning more about the CSSCS program or want to, hop on and get signed up for the upcoming one in April, feel free to reach out to me. I can get you information on the program, kind of walk you through a little bit about what it'll cover, what it entails. So if you are interested, reach out to me. Again, my QR code up in here in the top corner of my screen has my contact information in it. So feel free to reach out to me.
And Maureen, were there any questions at all, or how we looking on that front?
Andy did such a great job. There was no questions to be had.
Okay, nice job, Andy. We appreciate it. But everybody, we appreciate you being here. Please do reach out to Tyrell. I'm sharing his contact information as well in case you're not using the QR code. His number is 781-919-2368. But get engaged with us. Don't forget, there's also potential reimbursements to be had if you sign up through DMI for CSSCS. And we look forward to continued engagement in the program. So reach out to us anytime. We look forward to it and look forward to seeing you on future webinars in the future. So I believe that's it, guys.
Great. Thanks.
Nice job, Andy. Thank you so much, sir. And thanks everyone for being here. Have a nice day.